Since starting my blog 5 years ago, hustle culture has become one of my favorite topics to debunk because it literally sucks. Yes, it does have its perks. Your company loves it because things get done quickly and efficiently and the money rolls in. On a personal level, it makes you feel unstoppable. You're growing fast, achieving your goals, and moving the needle forward every single day. But let's be real, it sucks. Hustle culture tricks you into believing you're chasing success when really you're just chasing validation. I watched myself lose sight of who I truly was because I was constantly chasing approval and tying my sense of self-worth to how much I could handle. And I see it happen to other women as well. My clients come to me feeling completely exhausted and fed up because they've been running on empty for far too long, trying to keep up with expectations that don't even make them happy anymore. We all know hustle culture is one of the biggest culprits when it comes to burnout, but it also leaves you feeling numb and disconnected, behind in life because even though you're working overtime, you still feel like you're not doing enough. You're confused, you're questioning everything from your job to the people you hang out with, and you just don't know what you're passionate about anymore, what you actually enjoy doing, how you want to spend your free time. And you're scared. You know that something needs to change, but you're worried that if you slow down, things will start to fall apart. And if we're being completely honest here, you're probably extremely miserable. I mean, hands up if you actually feel good in your mind and body after an 8-hour workday. If you say yes, you're probably just lying to yourself. Anyway, the solution here is not to quit your job because let's face it, walking away from the only version of success you've ever known is terrifying. You're not just walking away from your job, you're walking away from your entire identity, your safety net, the proof that you've made it. And I would never want to push something like that onto you. The good news is, I'm such a lover of good news, there is a way to break up with hustle culture without burning your entire career down to the ground. It requires you to redefine what success looks like, connect with what truly matters to you, and rewire your beliefs around rest. Let's break it down. If you're new here, hi, I'm Thalia. I'm a certified health coach and the creator of Notes by Thalia, a self-development hub for 9-to-5 girlies ready to bounce back from burnout and transform their draining job into a career they love. Every week-ish, I share content on burnout recovery, slow living, career growth, and finding joy. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. Okay, so fun fact, I used to work in the fashion industry, which if you ask me is hustle culture in a nutshell. I had a job as a model agent and it was basically 24/7. I would wake up to a dozen urgent emails every single morning and spend the day bouncing between sales calls, meetings, scouting events, being yelled at by my boss, deal with disappointed models, demanding clients, and somehow still make it out that night to meet my friends pretending I had it all together. At first, my job was manageable. I was 21, fresh out of uni, full of energy, and ready just to go for it, to make a name for myself. But slowly, the daily grind really began to chip away at my capacity and my confidence. And it didn't take long for my hunger to fade. By the time I turned 26, I was completely burnt out, anxious all the time, and disconnected from myself and my purpose. And this is what I've noticed with the women I now work with. Something shifts in us around 27 or 28. What once felt exciting, like the late nights, the office gossip, the pressure to hit deadlines, now feels exhausting. We begin to question whether the long hours, the stress, the burnout is even worth it anymore, and if we're even building a career that feels fulfilling. For me, the answer was no. I had seriously outgrown the fashion industry by the time I quit. I felt like I had sold my soul and I didn't even recognize myself anymore, so I knew I had to get out. But for my clients, it's been more of a case of slowing down, zooming out on the bigger picture, and reconnecting with what truly matters to them. And the first step is to get clear on your own definition of success. From childhood, we're basically told that money and appearance dictate how successful and valuable we are. We earn money to spend on expensive clothes, designer handbags, and other material possessions just so we can impress others. We chase social norms so it looks like we have our shit together, that we know what we're doing in life, that we're adults. But no matter how much we accomplish, it still never feels like enough. So we keep chasing more milestones, more promotions, more pay rises, more goals, hoping that at some point we will feel like we've made it. but that point never comes. And this is what keeps you stuck in hustle mentality. And to break free of that, you really need to separate yourself from the mold. So ask yourself, what does success really look like for me? If it is a 100K salary and a 2-bedroom high-rise apartment in the city, then that's great. You do you. But right now, in this stage of life, you might be craving something completely different. And that's okay too. For me, success is more like a feeling. It's happiness, it's joy. It's having the freedom to think for myself and go about my day without anyone telling me what to do. It's scary to admit that, but without that self-awareness and clarity around what you really want, you will just continue to follow what's expected of you. You'll get sucked into the hustle because that's what everyone else is doing. And 5 or 10 years down the line, when you hit 40, you'll have the same realization that you're having now, that climbing the corporate ladder is not what you actually want. So start here. Define your own version of success, no one else's, and get clear on your vision, what you really want to achieve in life. So the next piece in our puzzle is probably my favorite part. I bang on about them all the time, and I have literally built my entire life around my core values. They are the foundation of everything, because if you're not clear on what you care most deeply about, your career, your life even, will always feel like a grind. It will always feel like something is missing deep down inside. So you'll end up working even harder in your job to the point of exhaustion just to make up for it, hoping that that next promotion or pay rise will magically fix that empty feeling. But the God honest truth is, you can't hustle your way out of misalignment. It just doesn't work. If you are not being true to yourself, if you are living a lie and working for a company that you don't respect, or doing work that is quite literally sucking the life out of you, you will continue to feel stuck and unfulfilled. You'll continue to subscribe to the hustle culture because that's what everyone else is doing, feel miserable and hate your job. Change starts when you know what you stand for. Maybe in your 20s, it was leadership and recognition. But if you're anything like my clients, you might now value autonomy, joy, family, health, and creativity. Once you're clear on what your core values are, you can start to reshape your job role to better support them and stop pouring your time and energy into things that don't serve you. Quick side note here, if you are serious about letting go of hustle culture, I 10 out of 10 recommend you read Slow Productivity by Cal Newport and The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. I'll link these down below, but both these books really show you that there is another way of working where you're not hustling yourself to the point of burnout. You can be productive without being busy 24/7. You can rest without guilt and still feel accomplished. And it really comes down to knowing your priorities and focusing solely on them. So don't skip the first 2 steps that I talked about, defining your version of success and getting clear on your core values. Which brings me to my last point, and probably the most important, because this is how you stay grounded in your truth and unshakable in your values, so you don't get sucked back into old habits or patterns. But you really need to rewire your beliefs, especially the ones you have around rest. I really don't think that we realize how deeply hustle culture is ingrained into who we are. We grew up believing that busy equals important, that if you weren't making at least 100K a year, working your way up the ladder, or squeezing value out of every single second of the day, then you were falling behind. Even now, 7 years after I quit my job, I still believe I'm lazy because I don't wake up at 5 a.m., that it makes me less of an adult, less ambitious, less career driven. This is the biggest belief I have that keeps me believing that I will never be successful. But what I'm slowly coming to terms with is that we are all built differently. And just because I don't wake up at 5 a.m. doesn't mean I'm less productive than someone who does. And this is exactly how you stop getting sucked back into the hustle. You can only really start stepping into your truth and living life the way you want by breaking through the negative beliefs that hold you back and tell you that you're not good enough, you're not successful enough, productive enough, or worthy enough, or even you can sleep when you're dead. That's always my favorite one. You need to really take a step back, look at the beliefs you've been telling yourself, create new ones that are actually going to serve you, and stop tying your sense of self-worth to your productivity and start valuing your peace, your energy, and your well-being instead. There is so much more I can say on this topic because hustle culture isn't just embedded in the workplace. It has also seeped into the wellness industry, especially the self-development space. We're constantly being told how to become our best selves. We push harder at the gym, overhaul our diets, optimize our morning routines, and track every habit under the sun, all in the name of growth. There's so much pressure on us to do more, be more, experience more. And quite frankly, it is exhausting. It's no wonder we're burnt out. We're not just burnt out because of our job, we're burnt out in every single aspect of our life to the point where we can't even switch off anymore. Even when we are supposed to be resting, we're scrolling on social media and consuming more hacks, more tips, more recipes, more people's lives, more places to visit. I never want to add to the noise, and that's why you'll find that all of my frameworks follow the same pattern: alignment, mindset, and self-care. This is really what it comes down to. Alignment helps you find clarity on what you really want. Mindset helps you believe it, and self-care helps you sustain it. I like to call this the anti-burnout framework, and you can read all about it in Stay and Slay, the book I wrote. You'll learn the truth about what's really causing your burnout and the framework to fix it from the inside out, so you can finally feel energized, fulfilled, and in control again. And because I'm not here to waste your time, you'll also receive a 50-page workbook that helps you implement every single strategy so you can see results in real life. I honestly cannot wait for you to get your hands on this book because it will change things for you. The link for that is in the description below. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. Chat soon. Bye.